can't be everywhere, and it takes them time to respond. If you're going to put your safety and your family's safety and my safety in the hands of only the police and take that primary responsibility of being a human being to protect oneself. Every animal has a primary responsibility to stay alive. You're going to take that away from us? Shame on you.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I can testify directly from my own personal experiences. I say this all the time on the show. During Superstorm Sandy, there was nobody coming to rescue me. There was nobody coming to rescue my family. God forbid something would have happened. And I'm, living at the time in the People's Republic of New York City, I would not be able to have a gun very easily. It would take months upon months upon months to even be allowed to have one contained in my home, let alone on my person. And I gotta wait for someone to take care of me? That's nonsense. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And I hear, I joke around with people, Gene, all the time, touching on that. Like, every time there's a hurricane or this topic comes up, like, oh, we really should stock up on water and canned food. And I always joke around with the people who say that. I say, I really hope you do, because I'll have a gun. And that'll be my water and canned food. Like, it's just that simple. When it comes down to it, that the good, bad, it doesn't matter. The guy with the gun wins.
Bottom line, in a society where good people are unarmed and bad guys who don't care about the law, no matter how many you write, are armed, guess who's going to have the advantage? I mean, it's a world gone mad.
It doesn't matter if you're good or bad, and it just matters who has the gun. That's who wins. I'd rather have more good with the gun. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. And you know what? Listen, Russ, because this show is your first one back in a long time, I want to thank, our sponsors that normally on the show that we play ads for and everything. We're going to go commercial free right now. I want to get max Gallo time because I realize once you lift the lid off of Pandora's box, everything's just going to flow out. You know what I mean? I can't contain you. I can't.
It's hard not to curse though, Gene. I'm doing my best here. We got to get a bleep.
Great. I can put in the bleeps afterwards. I just can't do it during the live stuff, pal. But yeah, we might need that. And by the way, you're doing great with the discipline on that. I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you.
Listen, I'm trying hard.
Absolutely. Well, another topic that we've touched on prior shows that will get Russ Gallo going. The NFL, my friend. Now I know that you're not exactly a sports fan. I don't know if you know a touchdown from a touchback, or all that. Although you do fantasy football, I'll give you that, and you do well in fantasy football. Before you get crazy,
I do like sports,
but Mickey Mantle is not going to pay your rent, right?
Exactly. Yes, I know sports. I like sports. I know the rules. I've followed it on and off throughout the years, but that old line from A Bronx Tale, Mickey Mantle's not going to pay rent. What do you care about him? He doesn't care about you. I believe that, man. And I think that these immature, big babies and in some cases thugs in the NFL are illustrating why I refuse to watch professional sports, and I refuse to support any sponsor that I can see that's making money off those people as well.
But if the NFL wants to take out ads on the show, or any other professional sport for that matter, feel free to contact us at www.behindthemillionradio.us. Anyway, listen, we have to talk about the NFL and really the intersection of sports and entertainment. I'm going to lump them together now because they seem to be one conglomerate, at least in this set. The intersection of what we consider to be entertaining in our lives and with politics. And it's happening more and more to the point where no one can enjoy anything anymore without having politics thrown in their face, Russ. It used to be, sports used to be the escape from politics. Going to the movies was the escape from politics. Now, you can't even do that.
But here's what I don't understand nowadays, Gene, and I'm not going to go too far off this topic because I want to talk about these NFL bastards. But
whoa, there he is.
What happened with, we talk about politics, right? Like you're saying inserting politics. To me, if you went back a little ways and you said, well, that's somewhat political. It might have been something like just on a local level. Should we make parking regulations that you can't park on Tuesdays to sweep the streets, or should it be Thursdays? Like that to me is like a political question. This is like insanity what's going on now. It's like, how did the Democratic Party become the party where they're the ones backing millionaires who are spitting on our flag and turning their back on police and, kneeling during the national anthem while there are military guys on the field holding flags? How did one of our how is that a political debate? We got one party that is just openly anti-American. To me, there is no politics here. It's just astonishing.
Well, I have to ask you, as a reserve status member of the military that has been overseas, hopefully, soon to be a veteran. I would say I'm not going to put you out of the pasture just yet, but it's coming, pal. There seems to be two minds when you talk to veterans about this issue. One brand of thinking says, well, this is what I fought for and bled for you to be able to say whatever you want, no matter how stupid it is. And the other side saying, how dare you disrespect the flag and like you said, spit on what we've done for you. Where do you fall within this?
I mean, I'm always, and for anyone who's listened for a while knows how I am. Obviously I have strong opinions, but you want to talk about the Constitution and the right to freedom of speech. This is a private company, the NFL, for the intents and purposes of this conversation, a private entity, and they actually do receive taxpayer subsidies in their stadiums and everything else. So these people have no inherent First Amendment right to disgrace our flag. They just don't have it. It's not the government making laws to stop them. So in my opinion is that the government shouldn't do anything. I actually like what Donald Trump is doing, President Trump. They're not trying to make a law against these people. Like, see where Republicans are. Like, we're not trying to make laws to accomplish what we think is right. Like, we're just not doing that. We're encouraging people, don't go to the NFL. If there's a bar that you like that every Sunday they throw on the NFL games, don't go there if they're showing the NFL and make them feel it. And I believe they are feeling it, Gene, because more and more players are refusing to kneel now, but to me that's too little too late. And that dummy Kaepernick who started this whole thing was in the news today saying, I promise I'll stand if a team will hire me. Well, there goes his deeply held belief and his protest. That should be pretty embarrassing for the rest of these idiots that followed his lead, no?
Well, we're going to get to that in a second for sure, but let's just talk about this for a second. What are we protesting? I still don't know. I know that Colin Kaepernick was protesting last year when he was a player in the NFL, because he's not anymore. I know he was protesting, violence by police against minorities. Okay, if your team lets you do it, fine. Let's put aside.
Wait, don't go any further. So you've identified that as what he was supposedly protesting against. So can you connect the dots for me and explain how that was?
Hold on. That's not even true though, because statistics show that there is more violence by police against white people, white males, than there is against black males. I don't see
you have a higher probability of being shot by the police if you're white versus if you're black. Yes.
Exactly. So that protest to me is just factually stupid.
But I'm asking kneeling, Gene, during the national anthem, even if it were true, even if he believed it with all of his heart, connect the dots for me. How is that idiot protesting police brutality by kneeling for the national anthem? I'm trying to figure that out since this started.
Well, I guess he feels that bringing awareness to the issue means to, quote unquote, defy the government. And the government presence at a sports event is the national anthem. So that's his, poo-pooing on the government.
Is anyone else dizzy? Like, I don't even understand. Those dots still don't connect. There's something else missing.
I hear you. But now, let's fast forward. So you're already dizzy, but let's spin you around a little more. What are people protesting now in the NFL? The large protests that were happening throughout the NFL for the past 2 weeks.
College-educated millionaires. Let's start with that, Gene. Can we set the stage? These are college-educated millionaires
for the most part, yes.
Went to school for free in this country. Okay, now that the stage is set,
a lot of them went to state universities. I guarantee you. So now, what are they protest? So now, Donald Trump.
Wait. Set the stage a little further.
Donald Trump.
Set the stage a little further.
Sure.
What percentage of these NFL players ever served in the military? We know the few. What percentage of these fools ever were in the military?
Those that protested? I don't know. I guarantee you it is probably less than 1%.
Wide. Forget about the protests. I'm talking about NFL wide. Hardly any of them. Way less. I would argue, Gene, that it's less than the general population.
I would definitely say it's disproportionate to the general population. That is without a doubt.
Go.
So now Donald Trump comes out and says that Those who are kneeling during the national anthem are, we've documented this on the show, SOBs, and they should be fired. Donald Trump now using his First Amendment right to speak out in his opinion about other people exercising supposedly their First Amendment right, even though it's in a workplace. And there is no dispute that everyone here can say whatever they want to say, conditioned upon their employment, right? It's not a matter of can they do it, it's a matter of should they do it. So Donald Trump says, okay, these people are SOBs. Got it. I hear you, Mr. President. So then all these people who were on the fence decided, in response to Donald Trump saying that, they decided then to protest what exactly? Donald Trump? Police brutality? What are they protesting? It's unclear. And it remains unclear for weeks. I mean, some teams came out with statements as to why they were doing it, but it's clear that there was not one unified message there at all that was being protested. It was a protest for the sake of being trendy, maybe? It's a protest because everyone on the left hates Donald Trump? I don't know. And I still don't know to this day what they're protesting, Russ.
Exactly. Keep spinning around, because you talked about what Trump said, right? And you heard the left and the media, which is one and the same, went insane. Oh, he's the president of the United States. He can't say that. By definition, he can. The First Amendment protects people's right to free speech from the government. So he can absolutely say it. There's no reason to say he can't say that. On the other hand, these NFL idiots, they have no such protection from being fired. Of course they have it from the government. The government can make no law abridging the right to free speech. But if an owner had a backbone and fired a few of these SOBs, I bet you it would have stopped right away. Instead, their revenue is down. And I would venture to say that hockey is going to go up for a lot of those fans. And make no mistake about this. This is clearly a racial issue. Clearly. I would venture to say that white fans are going to start bleeding out of the NFL. A lot of you season ticket holders, a lot of you people that go to these bars and support them are going to stop going. If this disrespect of our flag doesn't stop quick, that's going to happen, Gene. I'm telling you.
I think we're seeing the effects of it recently. We're seeing television down about 5%. Television was already in the tank, though. And I think we're starting to see it. I think long-term effects, you're absolutely right. Short-term effects, I'm not so sure, because people have already paid for their season tickets, and they're going to use their season tickets, most of them. I think there'll be a small percentage that won't. But it all depends on the renewals, man. That's what it comes down to, the renewal of those tickets, and whether or not they'll be able to get them. But now let's bring it to this week, where Colin Kaepernick, according to the Associated Press, has told CBS Sports that if signed by a team, and to date he has not been signed by any team, that he would not kneel during the national anthem. So now, is he just a sellout, Russ? Or is this an acknowledgement that there wasn't anything behind what he was doing, that it was really more about him than the issue? Or is this just a desperate man looking to get a job?
Well, he's a hypocrite. He's immature. He's a big kid. Well, most of these NFL players are big kids. What real jobs have they ever held besides going to college and becoming a football player? They're just immature idiots. So this guy, the savior of the left, and he was, going against the man. Look how quickly he's crumbling and willing to stand up for the Star-Spangled Banner. Listen, bro, it's too late. You had your chance to do it. I don't care if he stands up now or not. Look what he started. He's a piece of garbage. He's a hypocrite. And I really hope no team signs this guy. And this is to be brutally honest with you, though, I could care less if they did. Because the NFL, to me, is tainted. Goodell is a piece of garbage. He's made lots of mistakes in the past, but this is beyond the pale when it comes to mistakes.
And if you ask Russ Gallo, Tom Brady is God. So there's that, too.
Listen, if Tom Brady kneels, I turn my back on Tom Brady, to be honest with you.
Wow, that's impressive, because for you, there's no greater player. What's amazing, Russ, and we'll end, we got to do the halftime thing in a second. It's amazing how when Tim Tebow was kneeling for the Lord, everyone was going nuts about how dare he bring religion into sports and do all these things. But now everyone else is kneeling for political reasons, and they're all heroes. and they should be looked up to, and they're role models. But